Hey everyone, hope you all had a great weekend. Thanks for joining me on September 26th. And as always, we are not financial advisors and everything you see on here is for educational purposes only. All right, let's get started with BTC. Actually, we're going to get started with the dollar. I lied. So, and I believe since our last update, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, since our last update, public update, we mentioned we would have to come back up to the 110. And I've also said, like, I can see it going all the way up, like pumping a lot, and that would help cause BTC to dump back down. Unfortunately, it didn't dump back down as much. I was hoping it would actually hit the 17. We came down below the trend line, but easily went back up, and now we've just been kind of going sideways. And we'll touch up on BTC shortly. But this is still playing out to a certain point where I mentioned, hey, it would push up a lot, eventually hit a top. Right now we are in a strong reversal fib, so if the dollar doesn't get above 114.484, it actually might start making its move all the way down to the 106. Obviously it might go like this, go up, retest it, or maybe then come back down. But this is where I see it, reversing, where it's actually pushing back down, and this is going to help the market go back up. We have a lot of indication that towards mid-October, we might have some really nice pumps on a few coins. Right now for BTC, we didn't hit our 18K target that we had before, so I can finally remove that. Now there's a few things that are interesting. Right now we're still holding above the trend line. I was really hoping we would hit that 17 finally, just get it out the way. But if that dollar starts pushing back down, then Bitcoin's going to start pushing back up. We know Bitcoin on the weekly on our account system, it has to come back up above 21,860. So will we push back up there and then come back down, or do we just finally leave this target? There's like a 10% chance our target might not ever play, right? Because nothing's ever going to be perfect, and not every single target is going to be filled 100%, but we get pretty close compared to a lot of other people, and we don't change our price targets as well. They'll just be considered a miss. So last night I mentioned, hey, you know what? I know there's a lot of like FUD, all kinds of crazy things about like, oh, on Monday everything's gonna dump, the stock market's gonna crash, and this and that. And I mentioned, hey, look, like because of this, we actually might go up. And right now, Bitcoin's actually looking pretty strong, it's looking pretty healthy. Nice little green candle above the trend line. So again, we seem to be in this little triangle here, so we could go all the way back up, maybe even wick above, knock out that target, and then come back down, or push this and start heading back up to, and look, this top here would be around mid-October. So this is why I keep telling everybody in the Discord, I'll be dollar cost averaging if you're still waiting on super low prices. Maybe after that it'll crash, or maybe at the end of the year it'll crash or drop or something, according to woo woo. But for right now, I kind of see us push up more. When we look at other coins, for example, this is one that I wanted to share with everybody that I can see with XRP. XRP might not actually crash all the way back down. It might actually just go sideways, push up, come back down, up, and then do a breakout, then drop all the way back down. And this actually coincidentally actually lands right on that. I didn't even see that last time. That actually could play out even more now. Now I do have a target for 30 cents, and maybe like with Luna, maybe it just comes back down and knocks out that 30 cents, or we actually get the hype, go all the way up and come back down. Now with this is, like the breakout point would be here. This is where technically you'd want to get in. You don't want to play all this because this could still fail and come back down to the bottom trend line. Like, for me, when it comes to these patterns, we usually want to look out for where the breakouts are, because then you can ride all of this and then get out before it does all of this. Now this is still a little early, so I'm gonna be watching it to see how it does. For this pattern to kind of lock in, is I would want to see it go up to this top area, so a little bit higher than before, and then get rejected and drop down. Then this would also kind of be another good spot to get in, and then stop loss would be below the previous, so in case it goes up and you actually gain a little bit more. So we'll see how that plays out. And this is something I wanted to share with everybody. Like, this is why I told my group, like, look, I actually don't see it dropping all the way back down. I do see it going up to, and I've actually had this for a while. I posted it in, this is my little testing room right now, where I'm going to start posting all the coins that I could see giving a possible pump, like EOS, SHIBA. So I'm going to, be watching this. I'm testing this out, and then I can probably move it over to where everybody else can see it, just to be on the safe side. Because I don't want to like post something like this and then everybody starts to FOMO in early and then the pattern doesn't play out. Like, we have to make sure certain things play out, right? Our Luna pattern played out perfectly. It even broke way higher than before. Before we had that, remember, BTC pattern that played out identically, almost identically the same for what, 60 days? So as long as XRP doesn't drop too far down, this is what I could be looking at playing out. And again, this shows a pump around the 16th. When we look at SHIBA, and this is where it gets a little annoying. So I'm going to remove this. So SHIBA is not on any weak reversal fibs yet, so it could drop a little bit more. And on top of that, one thing I did forget to mention yesterday is SHIBA needs to do 2 arrows down. So it does show that it does have a bullish, not bullish, but a bearish movement right now, which kind of sucks though, because, or it can still be where it gets left behind and it comes back later, right? So with SHIBA, is we got to make sure we keep, and it's playing out that way, right? We have the little down, sideways, then the down. We need that V shape to form, so we need to keep pushing back up. Then we go sideways, then a big old pump. And again, this pump would be around October 18th. So you see how everything's kind of pointing towards October 18th. If we look at EOS or EOS, whatever, however you pronounce it, if we look at its little fractal pattern, it would pump around, this would probably be a little bit earlier, maybe like the 8th of October scenario. And that's another good one, this is a really good one that can pump. But going back to SHIBA, but my biggest concern is that second arrow down, because that kind of tells it has more of a bearish movement. And the last thing we want to do is create a bigger V, which would make it a little scary, because it would be like down, sideways, bigger down. That would knock out our target though, and then it goes up, and then it goes sideways, and then it pumps. But that would mean it will pump like somewhere in November, and like we want technically SHIBA to pump first before these other coins. Because if we can get into, like, let's say EOS, it pumps first, we get some nice gains there, then move over to that. Like, for example, right now Luna pumped a while back, and we'll touch up on that. And then we can easily move that over to SHIBA, then SHIBA pumped, move it over to XRP, and XRP pumped. And the reason I made that possible pumps room is because I want to see if I can start finding these coins that are gonna pump. A few weeks ago, I mentioned to the group, hey, look, these last couple months, and I've had a lot of people come and go, and they always said the same thing. Well, I'm looking for a group that's gonna give me like pumps, like, oh, moves. I want to do trades. I want big trades. I want this, that, and it's like this last couple months have all been about protecting your capital, all about, hey, don't worry about the trade, protect your capital. Don't worry, trades will come. And remember, I've mentioned weeks ago. This is probably not going to be live, but for the people in my Discord, I mentioned this weeks ago, where I mentioned before you know it, we're going to have too many trades, too many patterns. We're going to have a lot of coins that are showing, hey, this pattern says it's going to pump. The count system says this is supposed to come back up to this high price. And we're going to have too many like coins. And I know this because this has actually happened before to us during entering the previous little bull run we had, where there were too many coins that we could even get into, because all of our bags were in this coin and that coin and this coin, but there's still more possible trades, and we might go into that scenario now. And before, like I said, it was all about preserving your capital. We're no longer in the downward movement. We're more of like the sideways movement. We're gonna be doing like sideways kind of moves and stuff like that, just whatever. And this is where you can actually do swing trades, where you can get into some coins, stay in for a while. With the Luna C, I didn't stay in. I kept going in and out, just getting little gains here and there. I think I made a total like 40%, which is like, it did like 300. I only got 40. I'm still not sad because one, I wasn't 100% sure we were done dropping and switching over to the sideways kind of phase of the market. But now, you know, it's like it's building, you know, good momentum here, good a good support area, and I still have that set. Now we actually have that second arrow up that kind of gives me confidence, like, hey, you know, there is some bullish momentum on BTC now. Now I don't want to stay too much on this subject, so we'll move on to Luna. Now keep in mind, all right, so for Luna C, I'm going to remove the fib line, but keep in mind, Luna C is on a weak reversal fib, so if it closes here, it has a 50-50 chance this could be it, and it'll drop back down, and that will be 33040. All right, so I don't remove that. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting, and a couple of things I want to touch up on. We nailed this pattern nicely. It actually went up higher. I made a whole video talking about this could be the top, how we have two bearish targets. This is on a strong reversal fib. It's already went higher than what it was supposed to. It's on a strong reversal fib, and we have two bearish targets. I honestly thought we would have done like an ABC kind of a scenario. Some would say that's technically still an ABC, because that's why I don't trust the ABCs or the Elliott weights, because they can just move it the way they want, and like technically that's it. But we nailed our two targets, and that's actually kind of like, you know, something to be pretty proud of, and to give, you know, people confidence of like, hey, look, if I make a whole video of like, hey, you might want to take profits, you might want to take profits. You know what I mean? I've done that with a few coins now, where I'll make a whole video, or at least a big section of it, saying like, look, could be the top, this is why. Now, last night we mentioned, hey, this is we landed on a strong reversal fib, and Susan, the psychic that actually has been nailing these pumps on this coin nicely, it did say you want to get in on the 25th. And last night I mentioned, hey, we're technically on a really strong reversal fib, so that was a really good entry. The only problem with that is by the time it printed over and it went up really fast, and it was like a 12% stop loss, and that's pretty risky. I don't like to get anything if it's over 5%, because keep in mind, on this reversal fib, I also mentioned if we were to drop below the 18081, it's heading down to the next support area, and that's a 28% drop. So I can't easily say, oh, get in now because Susan said it is. We don't know if, you know, obviously when a psychic nails it a bunch of times, eventually they miss it once, and we don't want to do that one. Now, this is what sucks about cryptos, it's 24/7. Now, had we been awake during the retrace, because keep in mind, when it broke, when it printed, it went straight up. And now we were up here when I posted. I'm like, look, this is a strong reversal fib, but if you get in now, that's a 12%, you know, stop loss. That's really risky. Had I been awake during the retrace, and then we have a green candle, this dropped, touched the reversal fib, came back up, and as soon as it printed a green candle, that means it held. This green candle is where I would have been like, hey, look, it's technically okay because we already retested, we held, and it's showing, you know, reversal back up. This was what I would have been like, hey, you know what, you guys can get in now, because now the stop loss is only a 4% hit instead of 12, so it's under the 5% threshold, and we could have actually got this nice pump. But unfortunately, it dumped while I was asleep, and you know, that makes me sad, because I would have got back in, even though I said like, you know what, I'm done with Luna, I'm gonna move on to the next one. I would have got in there, and that would have been a nice, what, 46% pump. Unfortunately, you know what, we can't nail them all, and I'm not gonna chase the FOMO. Knowing that we have SHIBA has a possible pump, knowing XRP has a possible pump, knowing, you know, IOS has a possible pump, there's no reason to be upset if Luna keeps pumping. Who cares? You know what? On to the next one. One of the biggest problems a lot of people have is they chase and they're trying to get every single one. You know what? If Luna's already pumped, on to the next. You know what I mean? AOS is at the bottom. I still want it to go a little bit lower, but even then, that's still not a bad place. And this is a great coin to even have. But I don't want to spend too much time on. Well, I don't want to make the video too long. But for right now, the rest of the alts are just kind of, you know, going a little sideways. So I'm not going to touch on them too much. It's all just, you know, if you look at this section here, it's all just kind of sideways, phantom. You know, I will touch. You know what? Let me touch up on Ethereum real quick. So we mentioned Ethereum could drop all the way back down to this trend line. We dropped below, we pushed back above, we dropped back to the trend line, pushed back above. If we hold and Bitcoin pushes back up to where I mentioned, like if it goes all the way back up to the, like, you know, 21 area, Ethereum, where's it at? Ethereum could push all the way back up to the top trend line, which is around 15. If I was hoping we would drop down to the 17K on Bitcoin, and this would have dropped below and finally knock out our 106 target. But if the dollar drops, Bitcoin pushes up, and a lot of these coins are supposed to have nice pumps on the 13th, 14th, or mid-October, this could cause Ethereum to break out. So I'm going to see if I can find a pattern on Ethereum. There's a few coins I want to look into to find the pattern. We still have a few open targets. For example, XRP still has 30 cents. So we got to see how that one works out. It'll probably dump towards the end of the year when everybody cashes out, because we're already in, about to be in October. Like the year's, you know, almost done. ADA still has that target, and we got really close. We got down to 43. We needed 42. So I can see it still drop back down a little bit more. As far as like Data, Zil, Doge, everybody else, it's just kind of going sideways. So I'm only going to be focusing on these right now, unless the other ones start telling me something extra. But that's going to be pretty much for today. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see everybody on the public one. I'll see everybody in the next Monday. I will see everybody in the Discord who's in the group. I'll see you guys in the Discord on the next video. And this is where I do my advertisement. So if you want to stay up to date, I do have a paid Discord. I do have a few rooms. One thing I forgot to mention in the last videos is I have a certain amount of people that I'm going to let in my room. I'm not going to have this room with like 1,000 people in here. Like I have a certain set, and we're going to keep this room small, because one, I don't want to get too cluttered and so much noise going around, because that actually happened before. So space is limited, and we might turn into like a place where there's going to be a waiting list to get in. The more and more people see, hey, we're always nailing our target, people are going to start FOMOing back in. You know, a lot of people left a lot of Discords and groups and stuff like that because it was a bear market. But once it becomes a bullish market, or even sideways, where people are starting to see like more of these pumps and stuff, people are going to start rushing back in. So might want to claim your spot. On top of that, if you're looking to learn about trading, I also have a few courses that I offer, which are advertised here, and I've actually had some really good feedback on it, so I'm actually pretty proud of those videos. But other than that, if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to leave a comment or a like, or even a dislike. I know there's a few people that like to follow the room and give dislikes. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one.